We have the latest on CM Punk's AEW return, plus an AEW star confirms an injury, and a SummerSlam match rumor has been debunked. It's all in the wrestling news right now. The wrestling world buzzing about the return of a major name from wrestling. That's right. Gangrel is doing North Wrestling in Newcastle in July.
I mean, that is pretty big.
That's massive.
That is pretty big for North. That's amazing.
Gangrel's going to be at the Walker Activity Dome July 15th for North Wrestling Thunderstruck. Can I go out with Gangrel?
That's what, when all the pictures were coming out of him being at the airport, we were like, oh, he's going to WrestleMania. No, he was on his way. He's always been on his way to Newcastle.
It's a long journey to Newcastle for Gangrel. All right, CM Punk stuff, I guess. But Gangrel, though.
Gangrel, though, is pretty good.
See you June 15th. Tickets at northwrestling.co.uk. Anyway, Gangrel aside, I know, let's talk CM Punk. So we have an update on the planned return for Punk, which is, the more as the hours tick on, it seems inevitable.
Yeah, certainly. So this comes from the Wrestling Observer, who say a Punk AEW return is largely expected. It's a tenuous situation because the dressing room issues involving him have not been settled at all at press time. The working idea was that the Saturday show would star Punk. This is the AEW show that we've heard about that's going to be possibly airing on a Saturday, would star Punk, and that they would split crews to a large degree. History does show that that splitting the crews never lasts long, but in this case the idea is to ease the dressing room problems in the sense those who have not made up would be kept on different crews and wouldn't have to interact with one another. Still, there are going to be instances such as pay-per-view shows or Wembley Stadium and some television shows where it has to be all hands on deck.
You'd hope that they get any issues resolved, regardless of whether we're getting this soft brand split or not, before Punk properly comes back. Otherwise, it's just weird. At least to become amicable.
Yeah.
Not like be busy mates, but at least be able to live in each other's atmospheres as and when one would hope. But there's been a lot said about this soft brand split since the news from Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful last night. I think it's a great idea for AEW to do, away from CM Punk. People get annoyed with me because I always say there's too many people on the roster. There's too many people on your roster. This is a great solution. This is a great solution because then you can utilize that roster to its best abilities and have shows where certain people specially appear on. But by making it a soft brand split, you can sort of move people to different touring shows as and how you need to.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a great move.
Agree. Definitely. I think there's especially sort of like the TNT Championship as well. It doesn't feel as special anymore. We don't see it. Well, I feel like we don't see it too often on TV. We do, but it to such a lesser degree that it doesn't feel important anymore. So to have hopefully the soft brand split and maybe have things like that focused on those shows more than the other, so you can actually like build talent, because I know, as Tom's just said, it's a big roster and it's really hard to get everybody on there and to actually build certain people who have had momentum behind them, but then all of a sudden have that taken away from them. So I think you're absolutely right in this soft reboot, hopefully being beneficial to quite a few people.
For the future of AEW, Saturday night is all right for fighting, and this Saturday night show is what a lot of people are talking about. Tentatively heard the name AEW Collision being thrown around for this one. In terms of when it's starting, the Observer suggests that it could be happening at the tapings in Regina in Canada, a little in sort of early July. Now, because there's a taping set there that's set to start at 6 p.m. Central, and Dave Meltzer opines, since you advertise a start time of at least 30 minutes before the cameras roll, it would indicate the new show, if it does happen, is slated for either a 7:30 or 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Most likely the latter. Under the impression that this deal, however, is not 100% finalised, but has been talked about for months within the company. There's still a lot of uncertainty about what this is going to be. I think a show on a Saturday night as well, as the Wrestling Observer has reported, does open up for some big competition on the TV. Almost every week there are major sports events across the weekend. UFC most weeks doing either shows or pay-per-views, college football, major boxing, and that's even before you count WWE running Saturday pay-per-views and events going forward as well. So It's becoming a bit of a dogfight again for that space on Saturday night. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. The original idea, says the Wrestling Observer, was a 2-hour show that would have equal star power of the Wednesday show, and this will be all down to how you soft brand split it. Nothing is official as of yet. If this does become official, as my erstwhile colleague has said, my genial colleague has said, it will probably be led up this other brand by CM Punk.
Which I think is also probably a good thing as well if you're going up against other sports too at the same time. Someone of the name value of CM Punk is definitely, enough to bring in quite a decent amount of viewers at least. Anyways, as I said, especially if you're going up against these sports. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens going forward. Just a lot of talk about a lot of things within AEW recently.
The changing, moving roster members around for Ring of Honor has really helped AEW as well, which is why we've seen Eddie Kingston popping up as part of ROH. He and Claudio Castagnoli battered each other in the main event of Supercard of Honor. And Eddie's given us an update that is a slight concern for us fans of Eddie Kingston.
It certainly is. So he spoke on Ring of Honor on Honor Club and said, "I'm going to make this short and sweet. I've been dealing with a hernia injury." Well, I just found out it was a hernia. I've been dealing with an injury since September. No excuse. The reason why I'm going to most likely need surgery for this hernia, or the hernia acted up really badly, and I've had it since September, was because Claudio beat my ass that much that I couldn't sleep at night. He paid respects to Claudio as well after their battle at Supercard of Honor, but gave no timetable for an in-ring return. Hernias, I do believe, can range from how long it takes to have them heal up. I think sometimes it can be 1 to 2 weeks if treated very early on, but can actually span for quite a while if not. And it sounds like Eddie's been wrestling with this for a little while at this moment.
Wrestling with a hernia.
Wrestling with a hernia, quite
a main
literally.
event for the next Ring of Honor.
which is not a good thing, because I think they when you do have a hernia, it's very much advised that you don't do any sort of physical labour at all. So if he's been wrestling with this since September, wish nothing for the best, but the best for him, and hope he recovers very, very quickly.
The concern would be if you continue wrestling for a few more weeks with a hernia, then you'll make it worse. The concern being if you wrestle with a hernia for a few more months, you'll get signed to AEW by Tony Khan. We send our best. Oh, just getting word that Eddie Kingston's hernia is all elite. It's not. That's a little joke of mine. I'll debunk that rumour right now. As we will debunk this now.
Redebunk.
This breaks my heart, Andrew.
This breaks, I think, is about to break everybody's heart, Tom.
Earlier in the week, feels like earlier in the week, I think it was.
It was.
We talked about plans that are being put in motion for a SummerSlam dream match. Mm-hmm. Between Brock Lesnar and Gunter.
Oh. Meaty.
From Dave the Rubbish Meltzer.
Oh.
Right now, there are no plans for Lesnar versus Gunter at SummerSlam or Lesnar versus Gunter anytime soon. Of course, that can change because it's a viable match, you think. But if Lesnar's scheduled on SummerSlam, there's already a direction that isn't Gunter.
Oh, they're making us wait even longer.
Let us have nice things!
Please.
Let us have nice things!
Oh, this is such a shame. I think we will... I'm hoping they know that we want this, and they're just making us wait that little bit longer for it. But this sucks so much.
I know. And do you know what? Today would be a complete loss, a complete waste, a complete shambles had it not been for the announcement that Gangrel is coming to Newcastle on July 15th for North Wrestling Thunderstruck.
If I remember correctly, because Ross did a straight to hell with him, he used to live in England for a little bit, I think.
Birkenhead.
Yeah. And I believe he said he enjoys Guinness, or at least either like a stout or a bitter or something like that, and Wetherspoon. So if you see him, get him either one of them.
Bangers and mashing spoons for Gangrel.
Oh, that's it. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So here's what you do. You buy a ticket for North Wrestling Thunderstruck July 15th, and then you buy bangers and mash for whatever table Gangrel's on its spoons.
There you go.
And you check Cultaholic.com for the latest wrestling news throughout the day. Keys.
I love you. Bye.